As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. This is from TechCrunch, and the headline here, game streaming platform Loco raises $42 million to build Twitch for India. So it raised $42 million to build what it has described to some investors as Twitch for India. Hashed, Makers Fund, Catamaran Ventures, Crafton, Korea Investment Partners, Hero Capital, all invested in the Series A. Pre-money valuation of $145 million, according to sources familiar. So that would make it a $187 million valuation post-money. The startup has raised $51 million to date, and they've partnered with several game publishers, including PUBG, Activision Blizzard, Riot Games for licensing, and secured what they say is first mover advantage. Loco has also amassed 5.3 million monthly active users, 450,000 of whom use the service each day, and about 45,000 gamers stream on the app. So, Twitch for India, 100 million people in India who play battle royale games each month, according to this article. What does everyone think of a Twitch for India here in Loco? And, you know, why doesn't Twitch do the Twitch for India, I guess is the question, right? There's a sort of a business question in there. Lindsay, start with you. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, kind of the same question. My immediate thought is I worry about the potential limitations from the government shutting down different things from outside the country, maybe foreign investment. So perhaps raising money to build it in the country is going to be a little bit easier. I obviously think that there's a market there and there's a growing market. I'm sort of surprised that either the Asian market hasn't reached in a little more with Tencent and Bilibili. And I'm also surprised that the Western Europe market hasn't reached in a little more with Twitch, but they seem to be sitting just at a fulcrum where neither one has been super successful. So maybe building one in-house is the way to go.
Does anyone think this hurts talent? This hurts streamers in North America that may have had, like, if you're a huge streamer, you're Shroud, right? And you've got 50,000 people watching you. 500, 1,000, 2,000 of those people may be from India and are watching you because maybe they have no other options there or no big streamers in India that they can follow locally, or right? Does by building a platform there, do we get more homegrown talent there and therefore maybe an exodus of sort of foreign viewers from the more North American focused platforms? Sorry, Jeff, I cut you off.
No, but it's a good question. I mean, I doubt it will hurt. I think I imagine if you're a brand that's doing an advertisement or deal with someone like, a Ninja or Shroud or something like that, you're doing some sort of segmentation analysis, and you're probably looking at where, you're using a platform like maybe Stream Hatchet or something, and you're checking to see the demographics and the breakdown of where they are. And you're probably not giving a lot of credit to people in India or maybe in Asia, just because A, your brands aren't maybe even there, and B, the per capita income is just so much lower. So I would imagine, it's not like, hey, 10% of Dr. Disrespect's audience disappears, boom, 10% of his income disappears. Like, I don't think that's probably how it would work. But what I was going to come back to, just the sort of original point, is that it's super common, right, to see the predominant platform in one country not win in others, right? Like the Uber of the US is not the Uber in China, right? They famously lost to Didi there. Amazon is not massive in a lot of different countries, even though, it's Amazon. Like, we can't even fathom that they can't beat various different e-commerce players, but they don't in many different regions. So you can sort of run down the gambit of platforms and brands that have been so dominant in one market, but just completely lose for many different reasons, whether it's cultural, whether it's, talent, whether it's just, a structural advantage. And Lindsay had a great point about the government piece. Like, certain governments are not friendly to foreign investment. So I think this is an interesting investment. It could actually work.
What do you guys think is the exit strategy for Loco? Like, are they building this hoping that Twitch, in the knowing they need to expand to places like India and China and whatever, will need to buy the local player? Like, is that sort of the strategy, you think? And Twitch ends up being the dominant platform regardless in those countries? Or do you really think that you could build a legitimate competitor that dominates a geography? Because India is a relatively big geography that dominates a geography like India and keeps the Twitches of the world out. Jimmy, any thoughts?
I think it just goes back to Jeff's point that he made, where they don't need to get bought out by anyone. They could stand up on their own. This is this is like our home turf, and we're going to defend it kind of mentality that with the other companies that he had mentioned. So yeah, I thought that was really on point.
Yeah, it just like I wouldn't be surprised if the investors in this deal are going, you know what? We know Twitch is going to need to want to be here at some point, right? Growth in North America will slow eventually, and they'll look elsewhere, and we'll be sort of the perfect place and time to be acquired. I don't know if it's like good for the. I mean, competition's always good for the industry. Like maybe that makes Twitch. This inspires Twitch or YouTube to do more in other geographies, right? Or to be more competitive there. But I also feel like for the streamers themselves, density and concentration of audience is always better, right? Like one monolithic platform feels like it should be the best.
Yeah, true. But then there's a lot of competition, right? Like if that happens, you're going to see take rates come way down for streamers, right? Because if there's only one place the audience is, they lose their ability to do exactly what we've seen them all do in the last couple of years. Is like play these guys off one another. So I think I see your point, but obviously there's a counterpoint.
It's true. That's a good counter argument.